Hello, writers. I'm Lee Jessup, career coach for emerging and professional screenwriters. When you finish that draft of your script, where you're like, okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get some notes, I'm going to pay for coverage, I'm going to submit to competitions, I'm going to send it to that manager that I met with at Austin all those years ago who said they'd read the next thing, or somebody that I queried who said they're open to reading the next thing for me, or a producer I was in talks with previously. Before you do all that, the most important thing you can do for your script to protect yourself and protect the work is register the script with your local Writers Guild. If you're in the US, it's going to be either WGA East or West, as well as the US Copyright Office. If you're in Canada, if you're in Great Britain, if you're in other countries, find your nearest guild with which you can register your work and go and register. You don't want to send it anywhere before having that protection, because we hear stories, not a ton, but we do hear them, about material being stolen. In fact, years ago, I was privy to a lawsuit that was going down between writer A, an emerging writer, let's call him Tom, and writer B, Steve, a very established writer. Now, even though Tom couldn't prove how Steve would have gotten his screenplay, Steve did sell a screenplay that had a lot of similarities to Tom's screenplay. So as the lawsuit was progressing, it was time for some depositions and mediation. And what ultimately ended this case in Steve's favor, in our established writer's favor, was that Steve had registered a treatment for his screenplay that went on to become the screenplay that became a movie that he made with A-list cast 2 years prior to Tom registering anything with the WGA or having any record of that same idea that Steve clearly developed first, wrote first, and sold. Had he not had that registered with the WGA West, I don't know how it would have ended up. I truly believe that Steve did not steal the material, so we would have had to wait and see. But that registering that treatment became the evidence that Steve needed in order to prove that he, in fact, was the creator, the original creator, the originator of that content that he then went on to sell and have a movie made of. So it's just one of those things that I think is incredibly important, should be in every writer's process. Registering the material, then re-registering if you've made aggressive changes to the work. I believe registrations last either 4 or 5 years with the WGA. I think it's 5 years. So you may need to re-register 5 years down the line if registration has expired. But ultimately, to protect yourself and protect your work, it's incredibly important to register your material with the WGA East or West, with the US Copyright Office, or if you're not in the United States, with any writers guild, local writers guild that allows you to register the material. The material does not have to be a full screenplay, as the story that I shared with you suggests. You can also register treatments and I believe outlines at that start at a specific length. So I would look at the WGA website for those guidelines. But again, I urge you to register all of your work, which you can do online, which will protect yourself and your work, because you put a lot into it and we want to make sure that we secure it in the best way possible. All right, you guys, I hope this was helpful. Of course, subscribe for more if it was, and more will be coming your way soon. Bye.